Suppose if I take a three-dimensional member, let us consider a three-dimensional member like this. I think you people already know this one, the three-dimensional member or object, whatever it may be. If you see here, you will take sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3. Like that, we have different three types of the stresses are there. So in the maximum principal stress, we consider the stress is a sigma 1. But especially if you take the strain is we denoted with the E. Everyone knows this one, strain change in length by original length. Same like that, the maximum principal strain, what happens? The principal strain, when you consider the principal strain, I'm writing here the principal strain in the direction of principal stress sigma 1. So what happens? The E1 equal to, there is a formula I think you people already know, that is sigma 1 by E minus mu into sigma 2 by E minus sigma 3 by E. Okay. See here we have three types of the stresses. If you consider a three-dimensional member or three-dimensional material, whatever you will take, in that we have three type of stresses, sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3. So the principal strain, whatever we are taking in the direction of sigma 1, if I take the principal strain in the direction of sigma 1, the formula for E1 equal to this one. So now 1 by E equal to sigma 1 minus mu into sigma 2 plus sigma 3. Okay, this one you people learn in the SM1 also, but same thing I am explaining here. So now I will take the sigma principal strain in the direction of sigma 3. What happens? E3 equal to sigma 3 by E minus mu into sigma 2 by E minus mu into sigma 1 by E. So what happens? 1 by E into sigma 3 minus mu into sigma 1 plus sigma 2. So this is the principal strain whatever we are taking here. Okay. Wait for 1 second and I will take a small break. So sorry for the disturbance. So here we discussed the principal strain. Same like that, we have to know the principal strain energy also. The principal strain we will take in the direction of the sigma 1, that is the stress, and in the direction of sigma 1 and sigma 3 we will take the formulas are this one. Now coming to the stress one, the stress whatever you will take, you know the formula in the SM1, the Young's modulus. You people already know about Young's modulus equal to stress by strain. Now if I need a strain, what happens? The principal stress are in this consideration, in this theory, when I take a strain due to the yield stress in simple tension, how to take strain due to yield stress in simple tension. What happens? 1 by E into yield stress in tension. So yield stress in tension means that is a sigma T star by E. So my dear students, when you people are considering the strain value, we know already Young's modulus E formula, E equal to stress by strain. So if you need strain, what happens? That is Young's modulus and stress. If you need the strain, what happens? The stress by Young's modulus. The stress we are considering in this theory, the yield stress in the tension, that is the sigma T star by E. Same thing, if consider a strain due to the yield stress in simple compression, what happened? Sigma T star by or sigma C star by capital E, that is in the compression value. So now what happens? The maximum principal strain, it will reaches the stress due to the yield stress. That means this is the due to, if I take the E1 value, it is greater than the sigma T star by E. If I take E3, it is greater than the sigma C star by E. So my dear students, this is the most important thing in the principal strain energy. That means the maximum strain energy is greater than the sigma, whatever sigma T star by E, we are getting the stress value due to the yield stress. So now if I consider this one, E1 we know already here. For suppose E1, how we got it? The formula for the E1 is this one. Again, the formula for E1 is this one. If you compare equal both one, what happens? 1 by E into sigma 1 minus mu into sigma 2 plus sigma 3 is greater than, wait for 1 second. Yeah, it is greater than sigma T star by E. Same like that, 1 by E into sigma 3 minus mu into sigma 1 plus sigma 2 is greater than by sigma C star by E. So this is the formula. When you consider this one or the final one, what happens? E will be cancelled both sides. Sigma 1 minus mu into sigma 2 plus sigma 3 greater than or equal sigma T star. Next, sigma 3 minus mu into sigma 1 plus sigma 2 equal to sigma C. This is a very easy one. Only we have two steps are there. First, we take in the principal strain due to the direction of the principal stress sigma 1. We have a formula, and again principal strain in the direction of sigma 3, that is the E3. And again we know the Young's modulus formula, Young's modulus equal to stress per strain. The same concept, if you consider in the principal stresses, we got the strain due to the yield stress 1 by E into yield stress, that is a yield stress in tension is nothing but sigma T star. Okay, if you take in compression, that is a sigma C star by E. If you both condition as per the principal stress theory, this is the condition. If you equal both formulas, the finally we got this one, sigma 1 minus mu into sigma 2 plus sigma 3 plus greater than or equal to sigma T, and sigma 3 minus mu into sigma 1 plus sigma 2 equal to sigma C. This is the formula we will get principal strain theory. Once sometimes if they will ask only for 5 marks question, in that directly you can enter the two formulas and you will get the theory. Next, coming to the problem. So in this problem, it is very easy one. If I consider a three-dimensional member, what happens? Okay, the theories are still now we discussed maximum principal stress theory and the principal strain theory. The first one I am writing here, the principal stresses at a point, the principal stresses is nothing but sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3 are 100 Newton per mm square, the tensile, that means plus 1, sigma 1 equal to 100 Newton per mm square. Next, sigma 2 equal to 80 Newton per mm square. And sigma 3 equal to 50 Newton per mm square. Okay. If you observe here, it is in compression. That means we will take negative value, negative sign. Okay. Now, what they are saying, if the stresses are the elastic limit, if you consider in the elastic limit in a simple tension, my dear students, in the yesterday class also some people ask me, what is sigma T star, like that. That's why in the elastic limit only, even if you consider in the simple tension only, we will take that one. So what they are saying, if the stress at the elastic limit is 200 Newton per mm square, that is sigma T star equal to 200 Newton per mm square. What they are asking, determine whether the failure of the material will occur according to the maximum principal stress theory. If not, then determine the factor of safety. So they given the principal stresses At the same time, they given the stress or the elastic limit in simple tension, that is sigma t star and sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3. If the values are like this, if we apply all the stresses on this member, the stresses will develop in this member. Whether the failure will occur or not, we have to check as per the maximum principal stress theory. If not, that means if the failure will not occur, we have to determine the factor of safety. So now I will write exactly. If we consider the three principal stresses, sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3 and sigma t star. Okay, this one, first one is 100 Newton per mm square. And second one is 80 Newton per mm square. And third one is the 50 Newton per mm square. It is in compression. That's why we will take -1, negative sign. And sigma t star is 200 Newton per mm square. So the first one, as we know that when sigma 1 is greater than sigma t star, as per the principal stress theory, if it is the condition is like that, then only the failure will occur. But if you observe here, sigma 1 is 100 and sigma t is 200. Is this condition is right? Anyone please respond? Is this condition is right or wrong? Right or wrong? Wrong. So that means the failure will not occur. We have to write the failure will not occur. So my dear students, when they ask a question like this, definitely they will ask this question for the 5 marks even in the mid examination and also final examination also. The only thing you have to know, what is principal stress? It is sigma 1 is greater than sigma t star. That means sigma 1 is 100, sigma t is 200. If for suppose sigma 1 is 300, if sigma t is 200, definitely there will be a failure. Okay, but here in this condition, the failure will not occur in this condition. So then what happens if the failure will not occur? We have to calculate the factor of safety. Everyone knows about the factor of safety is nothing but the ultimate stress by working stress. You people already learned a lot regarding this factor of safety. Especially this factor of safety we will use when you people design a multi-story buildings or when you design a beam, column or foundation, whatever it may be, the factor of safety, this factor will play a major role while designing any type of the structure. So now we know as per sigma 1 equal to sigma t also is there as per the principal stress condition. So what happens? Sigma 1 equal to sigma t. So sigma 1 is 100. So sigma t is automatically 100 Newton per mm square. So as per principal stress theory, sigma 1 equal to sigma t. Don't forget this one. And sigma 1 is greater than or equal to sigma t star. These are the two conditions we have to always keep in mind while calculating the maximum principal stress theory. So now what happens? The factor of safety. General formula is sigma t equal to sigma t star by factor of safety. Now factor of safety equal to sigma t star by sigma t. Sigma t star is 200 and sigma t is 100. Then you will get 2. This is the answer. The factor of safety we have to calculate like this. So my dear students, it is a very easy one. You have to think about this one once if you open R.K. Bansal textbook in 1019. So in this chapter 1019 page number, so all of you note down all the problems are there regarding the principal stresses theory. Okay, this one is a very easy one. So the problem they will ask you like this. The principal stresses they given already sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3 and also the sigma t star, that is a stress or the elastic limit in the simple tension, and we have to check whether the failure will occur or not as per the maximum principal stress theory. As per the principal stress theory, the condition is sigma 1 is greater than or equal to sigma t. So here the condition is not satisfied. That's why failure will not occur in this case. If failure will not occur, how calculate the factor of safety? That is the factor of safety we know sigma 1 equal to sigma t. So then we got the sigma T value is 100. The formula for the factor of safety is stress in the simple tension by stress in the tension, that is 200 by 100. We got 2. So this is the value. So moving ahead to the second problem. Wait for 1 second. Yeah. So my dear students, if you people observe the second problem also, same like that. The question they given here, the principal stresses at a point in the elastic material are sigma 1 equal to 200 Newton per mm square, tensile means the positive sign, and sigma 2 is 100 Newton per mm square, and sigma 3 equal to 50 Newton per mm square. It is compression, that means minus 50 Newton per mm square. And again they given the value here, the simple tension, it is a sigma T star equal to 200. Determine whether the failure of the material will occur according to the maximum principal strain energy. So we have to calculate according to the maximum principal strain theory. Take the Poisson's ratio is mu equal to 0.3. So now I told you already just now two formulas, E1 and E2 formulas. Okay. So how we will calculate for this one? For this one, E1 equal to, what is the formula? 1 by E into sigma 1 minus mu into sigma 2 plus sigma 3. So 1 by E into sigma 1 is 200 minus 0.3 into sigma 2 is 100 plus sigma 3 is a minus 50. So what happens? 1 by E into 200 minus 0.3 into 150. So tell me this value, how much we will get?
So it's 50, sir, not 150. 50, sir, 150.
Yeah, 50. Yeah, it's okay. Tell me the answer. How much we get? Anyone please respond? Yeah, tell me the answer. Please calculate. So here we don't take like this, my dear students. So I am asked. So here 200 minus 0.3 into this one, that is a 30, minus plus, that is the 115. So we get 185 by E. So is it correct? Anyone please respond?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah. So my dear students, you have to do like this. So we got E1 is 185 by E. So next, the strain due to stress, that is the ET star equal to sigma T star by E. Sigma T star they given in the problem, that is 200 by E. So here what happens? See, E1 is, the condition is E1 is less than ET star. But as per our principal strain theory, E1 is greater than ET star. That is, the principal strain will reach the strain in simple tension due to yield stress. That is the condition. So here, as per the theory, it is like this. But what happens? Here, the condition is 185 by E less than or equal to 200 by E. So there will be no failure will occur. So here you have to know this, as per the principal strain theory, if it is E1 greater than ET star, there will be a failure. If it is not, the failure will not occur. So is it clear this one? Anyone respond? Then we will move to another problem. I think if people are enjoying the Holi festival. Yes, sir. Okay. Nice. Thank you so much. And this is a very simplest formula. Only two formulas we used in this one. Okay. So now we will move to the another problem. it is a little bit difficult problem, but anyway, I will explain very easily. Wait for 1 second. So how many people joined today? Is around 33 students. Okay, good number. So my dear students, what I am saying, whatever we are discussing still now, the principal stress theory and strain theory related to two problems are very easy problems we discussed. Anyway, maybe in the final examination, there will be an important question they will ask you. But anyway, I will solve the problem. Please listen carefully. And all of you, if you have a notebooks, please write randomly the important points. Anyway, all the problems are available in the textbooks itself. You have to refer that one. Okay, no need of wasting of time, but write down the important points. And one more important thing, if you have any doubts, ask me through the message, WhatsApp message, no problem. I will respond at any time. Okay, little bit for you and myself, maybe the frequencies I didn't take in previous classes for you. That's why maybe it will take 1 or 2 weeks for the understanding level. Okay, but still, if you have any doubts, you can ask me through WhatsApp, or you can post in the chat box. Don't feel shy, and can you share the e-textbook? Yeah, it's okay. I will share the e-textbook. Okay, otherwise, if not available, I will check today. If not available, you have to purchase that one. RK Bansal. In the SM1 also, if people learn that one. Anyway, I will share the screen and I will start one more problem. Okay. Yeah. So here we have to find out the diameter of the bolt. The diameter of the bolt is like this. We have to find out this diameter of the bolt subjected to an axial pull of 9 kilonewton. That means there is a pull, the 9 kilometers. The pull means there will be a tension. Okay. Together, there is a transverse shear force is together. That means it is like this. The transverse shear force is 4.5 kilonewton. So using maximum principal stress theory and principal strain theory, we have to determine the diameter of the bolt. For suppose this is the diameter of, this is a bolt. Okay. Here the tension, there is a pull is 9 kilonewton. Along with there is a shear stress is a 4.5 kilonewton. So what happens? You have to calculate by using the principal stress theory and also maximum principal strain theory. We have to calculate the diameter of the bolt. So here in the elastic limit, tension is 225 Newton per mm square. The factor of safety is 3 and Poisson's ratio is 0.3. Okay. So now what happens? I will write all those things clearly here. So axial pull P equal to 9 kilonewton and shear force F equal to, shear force F equal to 4.5 kilonewton. So if you convert into the newtons, what happens? It is 9,000 newtons. It is 4,500 newtons. Okay. So next, the elastic limit in tension, that is a sigma T star, they given 225 Newton per mm square. Okay, this one, the elastic in tension, 225 Newton per mm square. Next, factor of safety is 3. Poisson's ratio is 0.3. So I have to write that factor of safety is 3, and then Poisson's ratio is mu equal to 0.3. This is the given data. We have to know that. So from this, we know already sigma T star. So when I want to calculate sigma T, is sigma T star by factor of safety. That is 225 by 3. We will get 75 Newton per mm square. So my dear student, the permissible stress in the tension, sigma T is a formula we know already. The stress in the simple tension by factor of safety, that is sigma T equal to sigma T star by factor of safety. So from this one we got this one, 75 Newton per mm square. Okay, this is the first step. Now there is a bolt, or suppose it is like a bolt. We are applying a pull 9 kilometer. Along with they are applying a shear force. It is a 4.5 kilonewton. So now we will take, let us assume the D equal to diameter of the bolt. My dear students, here we have to use both principal stress theory as well as the principal strain theory also. Okay. So the diameter of the bolt is the D. The tensile stress, what happens? Stress, what is the formula? Anyone? Stress formula sigma. Please,
Force by
anyone?
area.
Load by area. So load by area. So this is a load P. Area means when it is the diameter, it is in circular position. If it is rectangle, we will take LB. Okay, it is rectangle. But if it is circular, what is the area? Formula for circle?
Pi by 4 d square.
Yes, pi by 4.
Pi by 4.
Yes, it's okay. Pi by 4 d square. When you send this 4 value to the numerator, that is a 4p by pi d square. Okay, same like this is a tensile stress. Now if I apply a shear stress, if I take shear stress, that is a tau value, the formula is force by area, actually load by area. But when you consider the shear stress, the load is coming due to the shear force, that is the F by pi by 4 into d square, that is a 4F by pi d square. Okay, so F we know already, the force they given in the formula, in the exam, in the problem, that is a 4,500. So now if I apply 4,000, I am writing here 4 into 4,500 by pi d square. So I get total 5729.5 by d square. Is it right? Anyone please confirm? 4 into 4,500, how much? Please confirm, anyone. Please use calculator. My dear students, if you don't use calculator, that is not my problem. Okay. Yeah, please. Is it right? 4 into 4,000 by pi value. Pi is nothing but 3.14. Even you can.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. So moving ahead, next step. We know already the principal stresses and the principal values, that is a sigma 1 and a sigma 2. My dear students, actually I have to explain the theories of failure after the principal stress. But if I explain the principal stress concept in depth, maybe it is very difficult for your better understanding, and for you and me, the rapport will be very less. That's why these are the very easy problems due to online classes. I am explaining the first is theories of failures. So in the principal stresses, we got the formula sigma 1 and sigma 2. There is a formula we will get, that is sigma by 2 plus or minus square root of sigma by 2 plus tau square. This is a formula we will use for the principal stresses. The sigma value, how much the sigma value? If I consider the sigma value here, you see the p value also is there. How much the p value? 9,000. So here 4,000 into 9,000 by pi into d square. What is the value? Please tell me, anyone? See, if my teaching is very fast, you can say plus or please explain slowly like that. If you catch my teaching, no problem. So what is the value?
11,415.
Huh? 11,000?
11,000.
Yeah. 459 by d square. So here the sigma value is there and tau value also is there. 5729, here 11,459. Here we are substituting, I am substituting here, that is 11,459 by 2 into d square plus or minus 11,459 by 2 into d square whole square plus tau value 5729.5 by d square whole square. So my dear students, now calculate this one. Sigma 1 is nothing but the condition is when it is plus. Sigma 2 is nothing but when the condition is minus. So you can calculate this one by using the calculator in your home. But for time saving, I am writing the value is Sigma 1 is 13832.5 by d square. Sigma 2 equal to minus 2373.5 by d square Newton per mm square. So all of you calculate yourself and you will get these values. So now the sigma 1 value equal to sigma t everyone knows. So what is the sigma 1 and sigma t? 13832.5 by d square equal to sigma t already we calculated here. In the starting step sigma t we calculated, that is the 75. Okay. Yeah, equal to 75. So then d value I will get 13.6 mm. So how we will calculate d? D square equal to 13832.5 by 75. Then d equal to square root of 13832.5 by 75. Then d equal to 13.6 mm. Okay, this is the simple concept we are doing this one. Same like that for 13.82 we will get the clear answer. So now the maximum stress, how we will calculate the maximum strain value. So the maximum strain value formula sigma 1 by E minus mu by E equal to sigma 2 plus sigma 3. So if you substitute sigma 1, sigma 2 and sigma 3 is here 0. So if I substitute the all values, I got around 1 by E into 14544.55 by d square. So previously the d value we calculated as per the principal stress theory. And now I am calculating as per the principal strain theory. So already we know the maximum strain is sigma t by E. So sigma t is 75 by E. So if you both substitute equally, that is 1 by E into 1454455 by d square equal to 75 by E. So then the d value I got 13.92 mm. So my dear students, it is very easy one. This formula we know already. Sigma 1 we calculated, sigma 2 calculated, sigma 3 here 0. And the strain value, the formula sigma t by E, that is the maximum strain due to permissible stress. We will equal both. Then finally we got diameter. As per the principal stress theory, we have to calculate like this. Sigma 1 equal to sigma t. That is the condition.